Hey guys, welcome to another challenge. Today was a little bit long sentences, as you guys see here, but as always, we're going to separate them according to punctuation, and based on that, we will be able to make more manageable chunks. So here's our comma right there. We got a period. There we got a dash. Okay, and remember, I think this is not the first time we've met this dash, and we've seen this author use it quite a lot, especially in writing a narrative. This dash gives you that ability to be dramatic, right? So definitely explaining something that is mentioned at the very start of this sentence, okay? So we'll find out how that works as we get into our subject and predicate and all the noun cases. But first, let's start with this first part. The atmosphere feels hungry. Okay, so notice that once we hit this comma, you are left to question and what? This tells us that this sentence right here, or this clause, is dependent, i.e. it's a dependent clause and is dependent on this one, which is independent. So we will definitely have a subject, which is atmosphere, and we are going to have feels. Okay. Then next we have like. Okay, remember like is an adverb that's going to introduce some kind of contrast or comparison. So we have every 16-year-old. So in this case, the subject is 16-year-old. How is it possible that 16 is an adjective, a year old is a subject? Remember that, sorry, I used the wrong color here. Remember that the dashes that are used here join the three words together, forming one word. Okay, so a 16-year-old is our main subject, but every is our adjective. And we have is, and remember, when we hit verbs to be, they're either going to be linking verbs or auxiliary verbs. If our next word is ending in ing, which is definitely what we see here, this is no longer a linking verb, but an auxiliary verb. And there you go, is trying, okay? Next, we have it. And this is an amazing contrast, guys, because here's another is, and notice that there's no ing, which is now a linking verb, not an auxiliary verb, okay? And then we have we, which is here, and a predicate, choose. Okay, so notice once again, just like in the first part, once we choose, so once here, sorry, is an I should have noticed that this is an adverb, once. And we have what we see as another dependent clause because we choose. Choose what? What's going on? We require another part, which is the independent clause, to explain what we mean in the first part. So our new factions, notice that our is a possessive, new is an adjective, but factions is our subject. And will, again, will is another one of those future auxiliary verbs, right? And it's followed by be, which is a verb to be. So will be is another linking verb, okay? Meaning the next word that's going to come after it is going to explain or talk about the subject. All right, let's go back to the beginning and deal with the rest of the noun cases. So the atmosphere feels. Feels is a verb that can either take a direct object or it can be qualifying, meaning that it will not follow a direct object or precede a direct object, but a word that's going to describe how something feels. In other words, how the subject feels. So here we have a predicate nominative, hungry, describing atmosphere. Okay. Next, like, we got our adjective every 16-year-old is trying. Now, trying, oh, if you're asking yourself to do what, we need something called an object infinitive, which is this one. To devour, okay? And then we have this construction as much as, okay? This is a degree, a comparative degree. Another adverb, as much as, subject, he, predicate, can get. And we have now what we've seen also before as a possessive, okay? Because he can get much, okay? Much of possessive this last day, okay? So all of this is possessed by the amount that he's going to get. Hopefully that makes sense, okay? We have like introducing some kind of comparative. We have is trying, we have an object infinitive, and then we have the object of that, which is much as he can get of this last day. Next one, it is what? It is likely. Here's our predicate nominative again. Talking about it. That, okay, remember that that introduces a whole new clause, okay? And indirect statement here, that subject, we, and we have our predicate will not walk. What will we not walk? These halls. Direct object. Again, adverb. After, another adverb. But in this case, because there is no subject or predicate following it, it is a preposition. And choosing ceremony is the object of that preposition. And last but not least, once we choose, that was easy, our possessive here, new factions, will be what? Responsible. And here is the predicate nominative describing factions. And then what will we be responsible for finishing our education? Here is a gerund for finishing, and it takes its own direct object. What? Education. Whose education? Our education. And this is an indirect object, right? So don't forget, finishing, anything ending in ing following a preposition is a gerund, and it can take a direct object. Awesome. Last but not least are the verb tenses. So atmosphere feels, we have a third person singular. Let me just reduce the font here. Third person singular. It's definitely present, and it's definitely simple. We've seen this before. Every 16-year-old is trying, okay? How many 16-year-olds? Well, we want to say plural, but 16-year-old on its own is singular. It's one of those collective nouns. So we got third person singular. Look at this. This time, it's not going to be simple, is it? It's going to be progressive because of the ing. And I have to add both are indicative. And they're active. If you don't remember what active means, it simply means that the verb can take a direct object versus a passive, which is a verb that acts on the noun or the subject. And it's also active. Then he can get, okay, so he can get is also going to be a present simple. It is definitely another present simple third person singular. We will not walk. Okay, first person. Plural because it's we. Now this is future, and this is future simple, indicative, active. Okay? Next, we have we choose. That is another first person, but this time not future. It's just a present simple. Keep the R there. Awesome. And then we have new factions will. So that is third person, plural. Will be That's a future. It's a simple future. Indicative, active. And that's it. Okay, for finishing, that is again a participle or gerundive, which takes the direct object. Wow, so we got how many? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different verb tenses in this entire diagram. Guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. The sun is out, enjoy it, and stay safe out there. Take care and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.